Back to my basement workshop. Today we've had a little bit of a format change, a little programming change. Today I'm going to bring you 3 garden hacks that will keep you from killing your plants too early on accident. Uh, if we have not met yet, my name is Quincy Adams and I want to help you grow some of your own food in a small space on a budget. Let's get into these hacks. Okay, so the first one is what I call the pull test. This is not scientific. I just made this up. I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer so you can see that better. So what I have here is a window box style planter. Last year, I had planted 2 stevia plants in this planter. They look dead as hell right now, but they're not. So I planted these in here. At the end of the growing season, I cut them back to the woody part of the stems, and then I left them. And they are not hardy to my zone outside, but I was originally planning on putting them into my greenhouse. Then I got busy and I forgot about putting them into my greenhouse, and they ended up looking like this. And I was like, oh, sad face. But instead of just tossing them at the beginning of the season, I started using the pull test to make sure that they were dead before I threw them away. And I'm glad that I did, because otherwise I would have thrown them away too early when they're not dead at all. So actually, let's bring this in a little bit. I hope I'm not making you guys seasick. But can you see at the base of these plants? No. Okay, here we go. See all those little leaves? That's stevia coming back. This is a perennial plant. It's not supposed to be hardy to zone 7, but it came back. Over here, you see these little red things? These are leaves coming back. Not supposed to be perennial to the zone, but it came back. So this scariness can get cut off now, because now I did not forget that there was a plant here, because I left these scariness here. And now that I see that there's more growing up, I can cut these off. So let's talk about the pull test. I'm going to put this back, and I hope that you guys can still see. Boom. Okay. So for a plant that may be potentially dead, first of all, at the end of the season, I never cut anything down to the ground, because I want to remember that there was a plant there. If I had cut these all the way to the ground, I may have forgotten that there was a plant here, or at least 2 plants here. And I might have just tossed this and then found the root balls and been like, oh no, my stevia. So leave a little bit so you know that there's a plant there. And then I come by and I just pull, not like a Hulk smash pull. You're not using both your hands. The goal is not to yank the whole thing out of the planter. The goal is to see if the roots are still holding on in the soil. So if you give it a little pull and the roots are still holding on, my personal rule is, this is not science, this is just my rule, if the roots hold on, then the plant gets to stay. And I will come by and test every week or so till I either see new growth, like down here, or the whole thing pulls out. This has kept me from killing by throwing away plants that weren't quite dead yet. This will help you. So if it passes the pull test, don't throw it away yet. It's still alive. It might still come back. It might not come back, but it might still come back. And the opportunity of something is better than nothing. Okay, so that's the first tip. The second tip is tape. And I'm going to turn this around so I can show you an example of what I mean from last year. So when you're repotting things or just inspecting things, sometimes you're going to accidentally bend something or snap something. If it's still partially connected, you can use some tape to try to keep it viable. So right here, and I'm going to move this again. I hope this is not too crazy on you guys. Oh, no, and I lost it. Just kidding. The light, nope. Okay, right here. Right. Oh, wow. I suck at this. Okay, here we go, right here. This is a big, massive section of Scotch tape. So when I was planting this, it like this part snapped. It was still connected by a thread at the very bottom. So I got some tape out and I wrapped the tape around it, and I was able to save this branch of my stevia plant. This also works with masking tape. Scotch tape, masking tape. This is just, actually it's Scotch brand tape too. So just tape. Home Depot, Walmart. Home Depot, Walmart. Just tape. I did this with my cucumber plants as well. When I was potting up the seedlings, they were very delicate, and a couple of them I bent. I used some tape to straighten out the little delicate stems, and they were able to keep on growing. So instead of having to completely toss that plant and miss out on the cucumbers, I used some tape and I was able to save it. So a little bit of tape could save your plants. Don't sleep on that. Don't just throw them away because they don't look perfect. Try the tape. Last one. Okay, so this planter, it has a reservoir on it. And I am going to, we're going to try moving out to see if we can see it. Okay, right down here, this little circular opening here, there's a whole tray that snaps onto this, and it provides an extra water reservoir. I always make sure that these are full during the summer because my deck faces south. I get a lot of sun. My plants would dry out, and some of them would need to be watered twice a day because they're in little containers. But because I have these little water reservoirs on here, nope, nope. They do not dry out because I can check to see that there's water in here. There's no water in here right now because I dumped it out. Okay, so those are the 3 hacks. Water reservoir. Actually, let me show you one more before we move on. So if you are not buying new planters that have water reservoirs, you can make one or buy something that will work as one for a lot of your planters. I like these clear plastic trays. If you're buying a planter set, sometimes it'll come with a colored tray, but put these underneath your plants. These will protect your surfaces and also hold a little bit of water, but not too much water. So this is a 12-inch one. I like 12 inches and 10 inches for most of my containers. This one works underneath of a 5-gallon bucket. This is a regular 5-gallon bucket. So if I filled the bucket with soil and then I watered it and a little bit of water came through and it was filling up this little tray, I would leave it there in the summer. If it's been raining every day like it's been last month, then I dump them out. But if it rains for a couple of days and then stops, then I gently lift these up. I take the water that's in here and I pour it in other plants. And I make sure that I'm not wasting that water. So there's a second configuration for you. And it also works with the grow bags. I'll show you that. All right, so 12-inch saucer. This 2-gallon grow bag fits right in here. So I have these underneath all of my 2-gallon grow bags in my garden. So it protects them from being underwatered. I love grow bags, but what will happen, particularly if you're using the black ones and it's hot, is water will evaporate out of the top if you're not using mulch and out of the sides, and any excess water will wick through the bottom. So I use these little saucers to keep a little bit of water in the bottom to keep the whole container from drying all the way out. So that's your 3rd hack, water reservoir. So let's adjust this. Can you see me? Okay. So just to recap, our 3 hacks were the pull test, tape, and a water reservoir. These will keep you from killing your plants too early on accident and will keep you from throwing away a plant that might still be alive. Do we have any questions? Okay. I don't see any questions, so I will go over a couple of announcements, and if questions show up before my announcements are done, then I will answer the questions. So as I've been telling you guys this week, I will start going live on my business page, Lilies and Tomatoes, next week. I will no longer be going live on my personal page. It'll be on my business page. It's just a page, not a group. You don't have to get invited. You can just like it and follow along. So that's where the lives will be. And since now I have confirmed that I will be in school on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I will be going live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then if we need to sub in some on non-live classes, then I might do that, and I'll let you guys know in advance. So we're gonna change from, we're not doing 5 days a week anymore. That's a lot. Plus I've got school and my garden and some other stuff going on. So we're gonna be doing 3 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It will still be 9 p.m. Eastern, unless I get requests for a different time. And then on Saturdays, it'll be probably, let's do 5 Eastern. Let's say 5 from now and then adjust as necessary. So 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. 8 p.m. Pacific. 2 p.m. Pacific on Saturdays, unless I get a request for a different time. And then the blog post will go Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Any questions? I see no questions. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys are staying home, staying safe, washing your hands. Have a good night. Bye.